and it's called the land of the brave. The whole world knows our name. One God and 50 states.
Hello, I'm Joshua Stanko, and this is the Woke is Broke podcast. I'm going to get right into it. There is a hesitancy among Catholics to think critically or speak critically about the leadership of the church, but more specifically about the Pope. Now, here's the thing. Jesus was many things, but a pacifist was not one of them. Jesus is always portrayed as this hippie type character. No, he was a warrior. Right? He didn't just pick up a whip. He forged a whip and he wielded it against the moneymakers in the temple. He stood up to and called out the hypocrites and the liars posing as Pharisees and scribes. And I don't know what our current Pope, because I am a Catholic, right? I am a Catholic. I believe in palpable infallibility, but I recognize that we are called to put our trust in God, not in man, which means that the priesthood is infallible, but priests are not. That the church is infallible, but the Pope is not. And this Pope, I don't know what he's fighting for, but it is not his flock. And I don't know what he's standing for, but it is not Christ's principles. For him to have no issue going out on the world stage and telling Catholics everywhere that they need to give up their individualism for the collective good, and then to proceed to sit down with Joe Biden, the leader of the free world, a man who has made a mockery of Catholicism everywhere, claiming to be a devout Catholic, saying that to be a devout Catholic means that you are to stand up for and fight for the legalization of the extermination of the most innocent and pure among us, namely the unborn child. That is what being a devout Catholic is. For the Pope, the face, the figurehead of the Catholic Church, to sit down with that man and to say nothing and to do nothing. And whatever rebukes or criticisms he may have, to keep them confined to closed doors. The Pope is not a fighter. The Pope is not a warrior of Christ. He is a hypocrite and a coward. And we have had hypocrite and cowardice popes before. This is no different. But what is different, at least in my eyes, is what the pandemic has revealed, and that is the vast amount of hypocrites and cowards in the leadership of the Catholic Church. For bishops and priests to take no issue in bending the knee to oppressive state legislators and close the door to their church and tell their flock to run back home and hide from the world and to be afraid. The church is not a priest's house, it's God's house, and nobody has the right to close those doors to anyone who would go there and want to worship in Christ's name, only to be told that, sorry, we're closed for business, come back later. It is that hypocrisy, it is that cowardice that has led to the degradation and the extermination of Christian values in this society and in others as well. It is that hypocrisy and that cowardice that has led to the slow death of Catholicism in the United States and in others as well. And it is that reason why we are in the dark times that we are now. And that isn't new, right? The church has faced dark times before. Catholics, Christians, more generally speaking, they have faced dark times before. But I am reminded that in those other dark times, it wasn't the papacy that saved us. It was the laity, right? It wasn't the priests who led us out of darkness. It was the people showing up to church every day, who care about their faith, who love their faith, who love Jesus Christ, right? People who are willing to put everything on the line. People who are willing to sacrifice their safety and their comfort, their livelihoods and their lives to serve God, to spread not their truth, but to spread His truth, the truth. And in a world of darkness, that is the brightest light anyone could ever shine, is to stand in the truth. Even when the world's beating you to your knees and telling you that you're wrong, telling you that you're scum, telling you that you're prejudiced, that you're homophobic, that you're this, that you're that. To withstand it all for him and to stand in the truth. That is the greatest thing anyone, anywhere could ever do, especially a follower of Christ. And make no mistake, we are in a sea of darkness right now. And as such, it is incumbent on us, the laity, the true followers, the true believers, the people who are actually interested in lasting peace, lasting righteousness, to stand up to wolves in sheep's clothing like Joe Biden, to stand up to hypocrites and cowards like the Pope, to fight for our faith, to speak out for our faith. Because in order to achieve lasting peace, in order to achieve lasting righteousness, it means that you have to be willing to put everything on the line. You have to be willing to lose everything in order so that the truth, his truth, and the good that exists in this world and the good that exists in your hearts, in order to ensure that that is never lost, you have to be willing to lose everything else. Yes, the Pope is not a good shepherd of the church. And Joe Biden is not a good president or a good man. Which is why it's on the laity and the constituents of the United States to stand up and to speak out, to stand up and to speak and to stand in the truth and to stand in the light and to stand against everything that the world is telling us is right when it's wrong, and we know that it's wrong. We weren't called to put our trust in man. We were called to put our trust in him. And we are in the days where good has been made evil and evil has been made good. But the only way that gets changed back is by people who know what's right, who know what's righteous, who know what's true, to stand up and to be willing to say it, to fight for it, and to sacrifice for it. And I wish that kind of courage, that kind of resolve, that kind of bravery existed on a greater scale within the leadership of the Catholic Church. And it does to some degrees, right? There are absolutely brave, noble priests out there, brave, noble bishops out there. But there's a lot who aren't. And again, as such, it is on us, the laity, to pick up the slack. For our faith, for our country, and for our God. If you are a devout Catholic, if you are a devout Christian, a devout follower of Christ, you'll recognize that. You do that. And you'll follow the fire burning in your heart, leading you to the truth, leading you to being that light in a sea of darkness. Because those opportunities exist, those chances exist. Every single day you wake up and you breathe in air, that opportunity is there for you to make a change and to make a choice. For your sake, for your kids' sake, and for others as well. That being said, I am Joshua Stanko, and this is the Woke is Broke podcast. We'll catch you next time.